freak-off evidence was just released. These are all the photos from the hotel room that the feds raided when they arrested Diddy.
I should not have gone this far. I just spent the last 24 hours on the darkest side of TikTok, and what I found might be the most disturbing yet. And I wouldn't recommend watching this if you're trying to sleep tonight, but if you do, make sure you watch till the end of the video, because what we're going to uncover will change your reality. And don't watch alone, because this is gonna get terrifying. What's even scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
Tom Brady just revealed that he loved his dog so much that he cloned her. So while married to his ex-wife, the family had a pit bull mix named Luna, which they adored. So much so that when she died in 2023, he wanted an exact copy of her. Now, to do this, Tom Brady actually partnered with Colossal Biosciences, which is the same company that resurrected the extinct direwolf earlier this year. And they successfully cloned Luna using a blood sample which was taken from her before she died. Which I guess raises the question, how long was bro planning this? But also, Tom Brady is actually an investor of this company, and they conveniently recently announced that they will also be expanding their cloning as a service to other pet owners as well. And I know people like spending money on their dogs, but this is gonna be next level. So the question is, should we be cloning our pets after they die or not?
You know, as sad as it is, us dying is just, you know, a part of life. Not bring your dog back from the dead or make a replica of your dog. You know, you can't just put your dog in a printer and, oh, he's back. Like, no, you gotta just...
We know that they can take remote control of your car and make you drive off a bridge. Any car? Any car that has a computer in it, which is every car, unless you're driving a 57 Chevy or something. We know that they can take any smart TV and turn the speaker into a microphone so that it broadcasts what's being said in the room even while the TV is off. Another thing that they did was they infected computers domestically, which is illegal, but then in the code they embedded lines of code written in either Farsi or Cyrillic so that they could point and say, no, it wasn't us, it was the Russians, the Iranians, they did it. Look, the code, they forgot to translate these lines of code, they're still in Russian and Farsi. No, it was us. I've been out of the CIA for 21 years now. That is a lifetime, technologically speaking. It's a different world today. God knows what they can do that we haven't found out yet.
Wow, that's so sweet. They miss us so much that they hijack all of our technology and they spy on us. If you're in the government and you're spying on me right now, at least let me know if I look handsome today. Thank you. No Diddy low. Any Mexican ladies that's spying on me right now from the government, you can let me know if I'm handsome today, because that sounded kind of crazy.
I don't care what nobody say. This man Kanye is gone. Listen to the way he talked. I remember the rants he was going on about the Jews. Look at him apologize. Listen to how he's speaking, fool. Sunk in place is real.
Feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues, dealing with bipolar also. Someone would take the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself.
I know that I have made mistakes in my life, but I'm here to apologize. Do that sound like Kanye?
Whatever you do, do not do this. Ever. This trend's been going around for a long time, but it's resurfaced and is going viral across social media at the moment. People staring at themselves in the mirror. Doesn't sound very weird, but it will do in a minute, trust me. You may have heard before that if you stare in the mirror for too long at yourself, you'll start seeing things that aren't there. Your face will distort and become evil. And yeah, as disturbing as this is, it is 100% true. Let me explain. First of all, take a look at this video. Focus on the green dot in the middle, and you'll notice after a while, the yellow dots around it will be jumping around or even disappearing. And that is something known as the Troxler effect, which is exactly the same thing happening when you stare at yourself in the mirror, where your mind is essentially playing tricks on you and distorting and makes you see things that aren't actually there or distorts your entire face. Many people say at around the 15-minute mark of staring at themselves in the mirror, they would start to see the face smiling back at them or a completely different face in the mirror. So it is 100% true, but it's nothing paranormal or haunted. It is just your mind playing tricks on you, but it doesn't make it any less terrifying. Let me know if you want me to try it.
This dude would show up to his college lectures. What? This guy went to UC Berkeley at the time. He would go to all these lectures because he said he was going against the oppressive social norms of having to wear clothes. And he just felt like, why can't we express ourselves how we want? So he would show up to class and he would always get kicked out. They would always basically arrest this dude. So then I guess the final time he ends up getting arrested for real. They ban him from going to the school ever again. He can't step foot on campus. You know, they expel him from UC Berkeley. He is in prison for a while, but they freed bro again after a while. I think he went somewhere else. Take him back in, goes to jail, and one of the doctors that were, in the hospital was just like, let's check this guy's brain. And they already kind of had theories of what it was, and these doctors were right. They ended up noticing that this guy has schizophrenia. So he's not just some drug addicted crazy bastard or some guy who's just super social justice or whatever that he justice, right? So they started noticing that his brain was pretty scrambled and there was crazy stuff going on, bro. Keep him in jail, and eventually the police go and check on this guy in his cell to just check on him one day, and they find him in there because he pretty much. Everybody just kind of felt bad about the situation because they were just kind of thinking damn, we kind of failed this guy.
Bro, I would be so mad if I went to the school. Imagine you wake up extra early, already annoyed because it's early and you gotta go to school, and then this dude is just in your class naked. Sir, we're here to learn about history, not the dimensions of your jingle bells. Please put them away. We're not trying to see that.
Our first caress.
Millions of people watched this shocking moment live on TV. None of it was planned. To this day, nobody really knows what happened. It looks like Wendy Williams saw something and then just dropped to the floor right after. About 3 years ago, you probably also saw that weird video of Katy Perry where her eye glitches. She pretends nothing happened and keeps performing. She's not the only one that happened to, and she never explained what it was, probably to hide something and keep people from worrying. In another live broadcast, a TV host glitched on camera, but watch closely how she wakes back up. I've never seen a stare that creepy in my life.
I'm sorry.
Kylie Jenner is known by hundreds of millions of people, and yet in one interview she does something you just can't explain. Watch the strange motion she makes with her hand. Everyone who follows this account knows what that gesture means. If you don't know, just ask in the comments. Either I or a real follower will answer fast.
Christian Montenegro is a man in his late 20s from Bogota, Colombia, who has gained viral infamy for his deeply unsettling obsession with dolls. After years of failed relationships and emotional rejection, Montenegro decided to create what he called his perfect partner, a large cloth doll named Natalia. At first, it seemed like a bizarre but harmless way to cope with loneliness. But things quickly took a darker turn. Montenegro began treating Natalia as if she were alive, taking her on dates, filming intimate conversations, and sharing videos that blurred the line between fantasy and reality. Soon, his obsession grew. He created an entire family of dolls, 3 more cloth figures he called his children, Daniel, Lady Maria, and Sammy. He took them on public outings, sat them at the dinner table, and even celebrated holidays with them. The eerie realism of his devotion, from brushing their hair to pretending to feed them, left viewers torn between fascination and discomfort. Then, his obsession reached a disturbing point. Montenegro once reportedly called an ambulance, claiming Natalia had fainted. Paramedics arrived only to discover it was a doll, sparking outrage among locals. To this day, Montenegro continues to post videos with his doll family online, living in a world of his own creation, one that feels as haunting as it is tragic.
Taylor Swift ruined her career in front of 100 million people because she was with the most hated woman in America. People can't forget what happened during last year's Super Bowl, especially that moment. Right in the middle of the championship game, Taylor Swift shows up on screen. She's in the stands with Ice Spice, and out of nowhere, she starts doing demonic hand signs while wearing an upside-down cross. It has to be calculated because the second the camera hits her, she does the signs and flashes the cross. Honestly, you don't even need to believe in conspiracies to notice it. Every one around her is just having fun and watching the game, yet she decides to do that. You can tell it's a forced gesture, maybe even something she was told to do. For the people saying it's not an upside-down cross, Playboy Carti literally posted it on his story, and in every close-up picture and video, you can clearly see she's wearing it. And then right after the Chiefs won, former President Joe Biden posted this on Instagram with the caption, "Exactly how we planned it." What did he mean by that exactly? You can still go look at the post, it still exists. We also saw Kanye West that day. He was dressed head to toe in black. He was wearing a black mask and had Jesus Christ placed between his eyes, like he was trying to send some kind of message. Everything you see on TV every day is there for a reason. They never stop feeding us this kind of imagery and trying to make it look normal. But I'll tell you one thing, if you're not subscribed to this account and you live in the United States, you're going to miss all the best revelations about your country.
Morbid Facts, Part 768. Kyle Marissa Roth blew up on TikTok for fearlessly exposing celebrity scandals using follower-submitted blind items. Despite her bold personality online, she was quietly battling serious health issues behind the scenes, reportedly suffering from chronic pain and illness that she never fully shared with her audience. But instead of letting it break her, she used it as fuel. Roth said that seeing other chronically ill people push through their struggles inspired her to keep making content. However, in April of 2024, she was suddenly found dead at just 36 years old, leaving millions of followers stunned and searching for answers. Even stranger, just days before she died, Roth had posted videos saying she was going through something but would explain soon. Her cause of death still hasn't publicly been released, but her family has asked for privacy and insisted that she was deeply loved. The woman who spent her life revealing secrets left the world with one of her own, but fans remember her not just for the drama she uncovered, but also for her humor, bravery, and the way she made people feel seen and entertained during their darkest days.
I think it's time we've had this conversation about what really happened to Justin Bieber and how Hollywood used him and completely ruined his childhood in ways that we can see that are taking effect today. Okay. I have some videos that I want to show you guys that just show the way Hollywood had done disgusting things to Justin Bieber. And I want to show you these videos, but not only that, I want to show you some videos recently of Justin Bieber and how he still has faith in God. His faith in God is still intact, but Hollywood did a number on him. Okay. They completely ruined his childhood in ways that are just disgusting. Let's hop in this video, watch it, and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
Okay. All right. Do you know Would You Rather game? Would you rather? You know that game?
Yeah, I know that game.
Okay, so here's my question. Would you rather have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms? Answer, Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go.
Okay, imagine that. Okay. Imagine that wasn't a problem. Imagine there was no laws. Imagine it wasn't like weird like that.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do either. I
You
don't
have to pick Justin Bieber.
like I
will grab your face.
Hey, I saw that stuff you were drinking in the movie. That looked like worms. You could probably.
It's a tough thing to say, but it's the truth. Justin Bieber, it appears that he was sexually tormented in Hollywood. Okay. And the videos that I'm going to show after this one is going to prove that. I don't know everything that took place behind closed doors, but from what we can see on camera, I can only imagine the things that he endured behind closed doors with no cameras watching.
How have you been enjoying the night so far?
Great. I just got to knack Justin Bieber and grab his butt.
I thought that you like totally, like it was like a full-on almost makeup session.
A little cougar scary.
Yeah.
But I took the opportunity in the window, considering I'll never get to do it again, and
Well, we hear that he may be back on the market now and available.
Can you imagine how hilarious that would be? That would be the cougar score of the century. Jenny McCarthy dates Justin Bieber.
Would you?
I want some Bieber fever, and I want a Bieber rash.
I want it all.
If you had cougar. If you had cougar.
So here's Kim Kardashian speaking out about a photo shoot that she did with Justin Bieber when he was 16 years old. Okay, and she's explaining that she don't know who set this photo shoot up, but she felt odd doing a photo shoot with a 16-year-old Justin Bieber. Okay, and as you can see, Justin Bieber was like pushed.
It is very disturbing how normal it was for these women to do this to Justin Bieber. Because imagine this was the other way around. Imagine that was a girl and those were a bunch of grown men. Nobody would be looking at this the same. I mean, even now people don't really take it seriously, which makes no sense. I don't know, it's kind of sad because I feel like there's a lot of guys that get taken advantage of and nobody really takes it seriously. So these female Diddy's gotta stop too.
Alright, it's official. Japan have officially declared war on bears. This week, the freaking Japanese military were deployed to help contain a worrying surge of bear attacks, which are occurring largely in residential areas, including supermarkets, schools, and bus stops. What the hell? In fact, in just the last 6 months alone, 12 people have been killed and over 100 more have been injured, which is the highest amount of attacks since records began. But before you think the army is going in there dumping rounds at these bears, soldiers are not actually allowed to kill them under Japanese law. They're only providing logistical support like setting up traps and then launching drones that bark and then play sounds of fireworks to scare them off, and also supporting hunters who are allowed to kill them. But what makes it even crazier is why it's worse now than ever before. Reports say that this is largely down to Japan's declining population, with hunters getting old and retiring, villages and cities getting emptier, encouraging these bears to move in. But also they state that climate change is interfering with the flowers and pollination of some of their food that they usually eat. So they've been increasingly moving into suburban areas to look for something to eat. One Japanese mayor even explained how some residents have become so afraid that they're canceling events and refusing to leave their homes.
Freak-off evidence was just released. And these are all the photos from the hotel room that the feds raided when they arrested Diddy. We have to start out with this clonazepam because you know your girl be deep diving, and this medication bottle that they found has the name Frank Black on it. Cassie Ventura said in her testimony multiple times that Frank Black was Diddy's alias that he would use during these freak-offs when getting hotel rooms and more. Now, there wasn't a doctor that we could see listed on this medicine bottle, but you know me, I went and did some digging on things that I could find, and we are about to get into it, but I do want to touch on one crazy thing. Now, if you didn't know, clonazepam is an anxiety medicine, and it can also be used to relax tense muscles. But this freaks me out, because if you remember, in Cassie Ventura's statement, she said how she would get so anxious before these freak-offs, sometimes she would even vomit during them, and Diddy would tell her to continue. This made me think of Diddy's ex-assistant, Philip Pines, who was on the fall for Diddy, who said that it was his job to set up these freak-offs, who released text messages between him and Christina Korm, voice memos for Diddy, and even admitted that he testified to the grand jury. Photos of Diddy's freak-off supplies that they got out of his LA mansion were just released. We need to start this out with the fact that Diddy had over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and Astroglide just in his LA mansion. And this is only one photo of many, but this is the bookcase that we saw the Homeland Security agent talk about in his testimony against Diddy. This is Diddy's nightstand next to his bed. If you think that's a lot of Astroglide, oh, just wait. All of this right here was all of the Astroglide that was in boxes in his garage. This isn't even all of it. They also found this bag packed with baby oil, Astroglide, and it also had outfits inside this bag. This man had a whole Scorpio box filled with the baby oil and the Astroglide. And he even had some stocked in his bathroom ready to go. And the Homeland Security agent said that they took out 900 bottles of Astroglide and 200 bottles of baby oil. This is another nightstand drawer next to Diddy's bed, and they went through it, and in these envelopes, they found the illegal substance K. And there was a bag laying out ready to go that wasn't even in these envelopes. Homeland Security agent said that there were 6 envelopes in total, and they took K out of each envelope. They went through Diddy's closet and they found a safe that had his passport and cash in it. It also had this brown substance at the bottom of the safe. and this brown substance tested positive for MDMA. The Homeland Security agent even talked about numerous weapons that they found inside Diddy's home. These weapons were in his security office that was actually inside of his LA mansion. And one of these weapons that were sitting in these chairs had a sawed-off serial number. They claimed when they walked into the security office, there was a safe that was left open and only some weapons were found in there. A lot of them were laying on the chairs out in the open. We heard in the beginning that they pulled out 1,000 bottles of baby oil and Astroglide, but really they pulled out more than 1,000. And that's not even including the ones that they pulled out of his Miami mansion. And nobody denied that this man was freaked out. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Did you see the Trump thing? Trump thing. People were saying that Trump died. Oh, that was false news though, right? It was false news now. Okay. There was images of him with a huge bruise on his hand. Really? Yeah. Now, a week before Queen Elizabeth died, she had the same bruise. Oh. Yeah. And then there was a whole hiatus from him where he didn't have any bookings for appearances or he didn't have any like published footage of him being outside. Damn. People were speculating, oh, this guy passed away. Now, he came out and he's talking, it's all good, right? So, is it possible for there to be clones or duplicates of important people?
If only y'all knew what they put in the most expensive perfumes and colognes. For example, Baccarat Rouge. Or a lot of the perfumes, which is the female side of the collections. If only y'all knew what they put in these things to make them not only just last a lot longer, but attract other people. Y'all might think, well, it's just really great pheromones and all. No, actually, they put, and let's just say allegedly, right? Because you're not going to find an article saying that, hey guys, we put this in here, obviously, right? But a lot of these perfumes and colognes, you got to be careful, have witchcraft in them. And a lot of the witchcraft that they put in these colognes and perfumes is a drop of blood. And a lot of the times, those drops of blood come from things like babies or like things that are sacrificed or even demon blood. And so you might think, oh, you're just capping, you're just talking. Source, trust me, bro. Why do y'all think the most expensive colognes are, one, more expensive? Y'all might say, well, it's because of the brand. What do these brands practice? Think of Balenciaga, think of Versace. Think about who they worship and what they practice and the things that they do. Y'all don't think that they put that also in their colognes and perfumes? Think about it. Really think about it. Now, I'll leave y'all with this caveat right here, okay? Think about what they put on these bottles and the gauze that they put on these bottles. Like Versace, the gauze that they put on a Versace bottle. Think about these, and I'm not saying that I think it's the most expensive perfumes and colognes. The ones that have a lot, the ones that are a lot older and have, the ones that are a lot older and they made back in the day and things like that. Those are the ones you gotta watch out for.
God forbid a man want to smell good on his date. How are you going to explain this? She's like, oh yeah, what's your cologne? Oh, just a little bit of vanilla and human blood. Like, you're going to ruin the entire date.
Lately, we've been taking a deep dive into Satanism, witchcraft, and demonic influences in the music industry, acting industry, and pretty much all of the industries in Hollywood. And this video that I'm going to show you guys is going to bring some clarity to just how these demonic influences have infiltrated these industries. Okay, now this person right here that I'm showing you, her name is Michelle Lamey, and she is probably one of the biggest influencers when it comes to witchcraft in these industries. She works with a lot of people in these industries, especially young artists and actors and actresses. And for some reason, whenever she gets around people, they get more demonic. They get more evil, okay? I want to show you guys exactly who she is. I got to show you guys a ton of videos, and we're going to hop into this and figure this out, okay? Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
The fashion community is going to hate me for this one. This is Michelle Lamey, and I fell into a deep dark rabbit hole last night finding out more about her. Michelle was born in the 40s. She's around 80 years old. She's worked as an attorney, a clothing designer, a performer, a producer. She was born in France but has lived in many places including New York and Los Angeles. And she's the wife of fashion designer Rick Owens, who is also known as the Lord of Darkness in the fashion community. Michelle actually discovered Rick Owens, and a lot of people credit her for his career. One time Michelle wore his head as a purse. I don't work in the fashion industry, so there's a lot of things that I probably don't understand understand, but Michelle is very highly respected among her peers. And many celebrities, like the ones pictured here, Usher, Kim Kardashian, A$AP Rocky, and Kanye West, she has a very distinct style. Every morning she draws a black line on her forehead, and she says she doesn't really have an explanation for it. She also stains her fingers black. It has been reported online that Michelle got her inspiration from the Amazigh women who also used to paint on their face. She's also known for having gold-plated teeth, but the rabbit hole that I fell into last night has people convinced that Michelle is a high priestess or witch of some sorts in the Hollywood scene. Now, I'm not saying she is or she isn't, and I simply cannot get into all of the details. The information is out there if you want to look into it, but there's so much mystery surrounding this woman. Like I said, she is highly respected in the fashion and art industries. A lot of people really love her work, and a lot of other people are convinced that she controls a lot of what is going on in Hollywood and that there's something much more sinister going on, allegedly.
There's going to be people that are going to say that what she does is pure art and that we are just pulling up conspiracies. But if we can be honest, this lady right here is obviously demonic, okay? The way that she dresses, the spirit that is around her, okay? The things that she does, she painted her hands very dark. She has this mysterious line on her face. Her husband calls himself like a god of darkness in fashion. And it's obvious that the things that she does is opposite of anything that is light, anything that is good, anything that is considered good from the basis of the Bible, okay? Now, somebody asked her, or somebody said to her that God is good. And I want you to see her response, okay? And she's obviously very disturbed by even mentioning the name of God, probably because of the fact of that she does a lot of demonic stuff, right? And that she could be possibly possessed by the things that she does. That's not a far stretch. But let me show you this real quick.
This woman is the only female police officer to ever be sentenced to death in the history of America. And her story is absolutely insane. So this lady's name is Antoinette Frank, right? She grew up living primarily with her father. There were reports of SA, of physical abuse. There were even reports of people saying when she showed up places with her father, it looked like they were in a relationship. So it was reported that her father just vanished one day and that he just up and left and she had no idea where he went. She reported him missing. He was never seen again. In 1992, she had applied to be a cop with the New Orleans Police Department. She was originally denied because the psychologist determined that she had several mental disabilities, but somehow she got the job. So this is 1992. 1994, she meets this kid who is a gang member, right? So he ends up getting shot and she was the first responder to come and assist him. Legend has it that as soon as she laid eyes on this like 16-year-old boy, she fell in love with him. She paid for everything for him. She took him out all the time. There were reports of him driving her police cruiser around the city. So she worked part-time as a security guard at this restaurant called the Kim On. And she wasn't the only cop that did. A lot of cops did. One day, she just showed up with her sidekick and they decided that they were going to rob the place. Apparently things went wrong. She ended up shooting and killing 3 of the people that own the restaurant. 2 of the people that were there ended up running and hiding in a freezer, right? So they didn't get killed. It was reported that this was an extremely brutal execution style murders, right? After they did this, they got in the car. She went and dropped him off at home. And then she ran down to the police station and said, "Oh my God, I heard a report that there were people shot where I work. I need a cruiser to go and investigate." So she runs back over to the store and then she says, What happened? Like, I need to do an investigation and I'm here to help you. The survivor said, "Why are you asking me what happened? You were here." That's when it all started to unfold, right? She ended up being convicted of the murders, but that's not the end of the story. While she was in prison, police got a hint from a search dog at her house. They start digging, and under her house, they find a skull. And it was believed to be the same age, and it could very possibly be her father. The New Orleans Police Department never tested the bones to see who they belong to. It's just an unconfirmed skull that nobody knows. And it's the only female officer in the history of this country to ever be sentenced to death.
This has got to be one of the dumbest people ever. She took these people out. She went to the police station, reported it, went back as if nothing happened, and then questioned them. This is like one of those criminals from the cartoons that always gets caught.
These are the terrifying steps you would face if you got chosen to fight in the Coliseum. First, Roman guards would break down your door and pull you out of your home. If you couldn't pay your debt, were a criminal, or even a slave, you could get chosen at any random moment. Next, they would shackle you up and drag you through the streets, scraping your entire entire body as they made their way towards the Coliseum. But it gets more brutal. They'll then march around with your body through crowded streets as an example, letting people spit or hit you as they dragged you everywhere. And eventually you would be taken underneath the Coliseum, pulling you through a dark hallway into a holding cell with nothing in it except a cold floor, forcing you to stay in the cell for multiple days or even weeks as they decided your fate and advertised your upcoming fight. And it was nearly impossible for you to sleep, hearing the crowd chanting all day and people dying directly above your head. Even at night, you would hear wild animals as they kept them in the same room as prisoners. Next, after all this waiting, on a random day, they'll suddenly unlock your door and pull you out. You're now about to discover your fate. If they gave you weapons and armor, you could possibly be a gladiator, fighting other prisoners, having the best chance at survival. But if they handed you a dull wooden sword or a towel, your life was already over, facing the punishment called damnatio ad bestias, being thrown into one final small pitch black cell, hearing the crowd roaring around you, praying to fight something easy, eventually opening the door in front of you, walking out and seeing a crowd of over 50,000 people cheering for your death. And in a moment of truth, the Roman guards will raise a small platform within the Coliseum, being met with whatever animal you have to face, which they specifically starved and agitated. You could try to fight back, but the best thing you could do is accept your fate.
This is Gary Glitter, one of the worst in world history. And this guy was a rock star. The story is extremely disturbing. So all of the bad things that Gary Glitter had done in the past resurfaced in 2019 when The Joker came out. His song was the one that was used during this infamous dancing stairway scene. But let's rewind. Paul Francis Gadd was born in 1944 in England. It was in the year 1971 during the glam rock movement when Paul began to use the stage name Gary Glitter and his career really took off. The release of his album titled Glitter was a massive success. The song Rock and Roll reached high points on all charts across the world, and he seemed to be this, new age progressive rock and roll star. And for years, Gary was heralded as a rock and roll icon. This guy was loved by thousands, millions of people across the planet. But that would all change in the year 1997 when Gary took his computer into a repair shop in England. The technician at the time that was taking a look at Gary's laptop discovered CP images on his hard drive. The police then got involved. They searched his home and found even more CP. This guy was sick. After all was said and done, it was discovered that Gary had downloaded over 4,000 images of CP onto his computer. He had also had a relationship with a 14-year-old girl in the 1970s, and he was given a 4-month prison sentence. After he was released from prison, Gary felt the heat from the public now hating him in England, so he fled to...
The BBC could be in big trouble. Shocking new leaked documents allege the BBC deliberately misled viewers by doctoring footage of Trump, making him appear to encourage the January 6 riots. Quote, they completely misled viewers by showing the president telling supporters he was going to walk to the Capitol with them to fight like hell.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
When in fact, he said that he would walk with them to, quote, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. The documents claim that the BBC deliberately excluded that section. In fact, the version they aired comprises of 2 separate parts of his speech, nearly an hour apart, edited together. But it doesn't end there. The internal whistleblower memo, seen by The Telegraph, also claims 9 more occasions the BBC displayed anti-Trump bias during the election, as well as failing to report objectively on a range of other issues too. And why this is significant is because not only is the BBC by a large margin the most visited news provider in the world, but also, according to surveys, one of the most trusted too. However, Michael Prescott, the man behind this memo, and the former advisor to the BBC's editorial guidelines and standards committee, claimed that senior executives and the BBC's chairman ignored and dismissed a string of serious complaints which were raised by the corporation's own standards watchdog. He said that he was moved to act and make this public out of despair at inaction by the BBC's executives when issues came to light. The BBC has responded to this by saying, while we don't comment on leaked documents, when the BBC receives feedback, it takes it seriously and considers it carefully. So the question is, what do you guys think?
Imagine a hospital so massive it was once the largest asylum in the world, and thousands of patients who entered its gates never came back out. That place was Pilgrim State Hospital on Long Island, New York. Opened in 1931, it was built during a time when mental illness was still widely misunderstood. At its peak, this facility wasn't just a hospital. It was practically its own city. It had its own police force, fire department, post office, and even farmland to sustain the patients. But behind the walls, things were far from peaceful. Pilgrim was originally designed to house around 12,000 patients, But by the 1950s, it became overcrowded, with some reports saying it held more than 14,000 people. And with that many patients, staff were overwhelmed, and disturbing practices became routine. One of the darkest chapters was the widespread use of
This is the worst Sam Smith video we've ever seen. Sure, we'd all love to see the old Sam Smith come back, but there's going to be a problem. Remember, 7 years ago, everyone was singing his songs, whether it was Stay With Me, Promises, or Too Good at Goodbyes. Sam Smith had one of the most beautiful voices music had ever known, and yet something strange destroyed the Sam Smith we knew. Overnight, everything changed about him. Everyone saw he had gained weight. His style had nothing to do with what it was before, but the worst part is when he went back on tour after this change. What he delivered was darker, more mysterious, as if he had to follow specific orders. When you look at most of his recent concerts, the only thing that sticks is the red. It's literally everywhere, and we all know what that color is associated with. But beyond the color, he shocks his fans more and more with his outfits. Look at this concert. I don't even want to explain. It's that disturbing. How long will this keep going without anyone saying anything? I hope the video I showed you at the start convinced you, because it's not normal to feel nothing when you see that.
Bro, he does not have one song where he needs to be doing all that. When I listen to Sam Smith, I'm damn near about to cry. If I seen that while I'm listening to that song is turned off in the garbage, never to be seen again. What? You know, I'm all for people expressing themselves, but like, bro, no song you have requires that performance.
What happened to Ariana?
He's like, Jesus. Oh, that one was near and big.
I was getting trained.
That one was near and big. Are we in the way? Something come through here? Something comes through. Something's gotta come through. That was here. Oh, I have lipstick all over my chin.
Why did she react like that to a train horn? Remember? These bells? What happened to them? I haven't heard them lately. Why is that? Because it seemed to faze her. Why did she get so scared? She seemed so worried. She shook. Now, I've been hearing those sounds my whole life living in Brooklyn. So what made her jump like that? Remember? I don't know, guys. She's been very different lately. And I used to listen to her music, believe it or not. I did. I used to listen to her. As a matter of fact, I still do. I was just playing it a little while ago. A wonderful artist. But something is going on with these two. Something is going on, and I just don't know what it is, but most likely nothing's going on. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know why did she jump like that when she heard that sound. I don't know, she got scared. I don't know, guys, let me know what you think about this. I'm out.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, let me know your favorite part of the video made you tremble in your boots, and we're gonna be on to the next one.